For generations, my family owned the lake that sat at the center of our property. It had always been peaceful, until one morning when dozens of tourist boats suddenly appeared. No one had asked for permission, and that was only the beginning. The HOA announced that the lake was now open to paying visitors. They claimed it would boost tourism and increase property values. My family had never agreed to that decision, yet people kept pouring in. Most visitors honestly believed they were welcome. They had paid for tickets sold by the HOA. When I explained the lake's history, many were genuinely surprised. Someone clearly hadn't told them the full story. Then I discovered the HOA's real plan. They weren't interested in day visitors alone. They wanted to transform the lake into a luxury resort destination. Without my family's approval, I returned to my grandfather's cabin. Inside were decades of carefully preserved records. Every document pointed to the same fact. The lake had always belonged to our family. The county records confirmed what I already suspected. Nothing showed the HOA owning the lake. The paperwork was clear. Now I needed the right moment to present eye. Weekend crowds continued growing. The lake became louder than it had ever been. Then unusual movement appeared across the water. At first, almost nobody noticed. Local wildlife had returned to areas they naturally inhabited. Wildlife officers quickly responded to monitor the situation. Tourists realized the lake wasn't the theme park they expected. The atmosphere changed instantly. Safety officials secured the area. Visitors were escorted out in an orderly way. The HOA's grand opening had come to an abrupt stop. Questions began spreading throughout the neighborhood. As the lake grew quiet again, I realized this wasn't just about tourists. It was about protecting my family's history. The real battle was only beginning, and the truth was finally ready to surface. Wildlife officers completed their first inspection. The alligators weren't invading. They had always lived in protected sections of the lake. The sudden tourist traffic had simply disturbed their habitat. The HOA board called an emergency meeting. Residents wanted answers. Their dream of a profitable resort was already falling apart. Blame quickly filled the room. I met with environmental officials. They explained that the lake supported a healthy, natural ecosystem. Protecting both wildlife and property owners was their priority. Facts mattered more than rumors. Most visitors accepted the situation. They appreciated the clear explanation from local authorities. The crowds disappeared almost as quickly as they had arrived. Peace slowly returned. Looking through old family photographs reminded me why the lake mattered. It wasn't just land. It carried generations of memories. That history deserved respect. A licensed survey team confirmed every boundary. Modern technology matched the historic records perfectly. There was no confusion about ownership. Only the HOA's assumptions had been wrong. Linda tried defending the HOA's decision. She insisted everything had been done for the community. But reporters kept asking difficult questions. The answers weren't convincing. With every document organized, I prepared for the next step. The issue deserved a proper legal review. Facts would speak louder than opinions. The evidence was ready. As evening arrived, the lake looked exactly as it always had. Quiet, beautiful, and completely at peace without the crowds. The truth was finally coming together. Ownership records, surveys, and official reports all pointed in the same direction. The HOA's plans had reached a turning point. The biggest confrontation was still ahead. The hearing day finally arrived. Both sides believed they had a strong case, but only one side had decades of documented evidence. The courtroom would decide what happened next. The judge carefully reviewed every document. Old deeds, surveys, and county records matched perfectly. The evidence painted a very clear picture. Ownership had never changed. The oldest records proved the lake had remained in my family's name. Every official map supported the same conclusion. There were no missing pages, no hidden transfers. The surveyor explained every boundary with precision. Modern GPS technology confirmed the historic maps. There was no overlap with HOA property. The facts couldn't be ignored. The HOA tried defending its development plans, but each argument faced another official record. Confidence slowly turned into uncertainty. The room grew noticeably quieter. Environmental experts explained the wildlife situation. The alligators hadn't suddenly appeared. They were part of the lake's long-established ecosystem. Heavy tourist activity had disturbed their normal behavior. Residents listened to every detail. Many had believed the HOA's version of events. Now they were hearing verified facts. Opinions began to change. After reviewing the evidence, the judge paused. The courtroom fell completely silent. Everyone waited for the decision. The outcome would affect the entire neighborhood. The ruling confirmed the documented ownership. The lake remained private family property. The HOA had no authority to open it to the public. The legal question had been settled. When I returned home, the lake was peaceful once again. The documents had protected generations of family history. Sometimes the strongest answer isn't an argument. It's simply proving the truth. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments. Where are you watching from?